Anyway, welcome to British Wrestling Radio. It is Friday night. It is the 23rd of May, as we always do. Sorry for being a bit early as usual. Pre-watershed, as it fuck. We've had Nixie's loving herself in China, eventually, after trying to chat to her because she was convinced that she wasn't going to go. And we had all these problems, and it was going, oh, yeah, well, he's doing this, and I'm not going, but she got to go. So she's gone. And all said and done with. So can't do anything. Good evening, Joe.
Good evening, Mr. Mitchell.
How you doing? Welcome, everybody. Welcome to our very special guest host for this evening, Mr. Joe Tarpy, otherwise known as one of the famous guys of all time from the 30-Minute Pipe Bomb podcast. And we miss you guys so much.
You're far too kind, mate. You're far too kind.
How you been? All right.
Very good, very good. I realised that I'd got in at 5:28 and had to rush around. And when I want my laptop to just open up and open Skype, it just didn't happen. So I'm very, very sorry for being late. Please forgive me.
All right, don't worry about it. It's all right. But I've got people messaging me on Facebook saying, what tickets have you got for Southside next week? What tickets? Don't you know I do a radio show on a Friday night? It's bleeding stupid. I've got people going, I banned one of the guys in the chat room, and that was like, what have I done that for? And you can't ban people. I've got to make you a mod in our chat room anyway.
No problem.
There you go. And I just saw all these people keep messaging me on the Fridays. I had somebody... one of the famous people of that show, Gavin Knotts, tagged me in a picture of a red phone box. Yeah. And this guy went mental. It was like watching Tasmanian Devil eat a chili burger or something. He went schizo. He just and I went, I'm on night shifts this week, and literally every 2 seconds, my phone was going ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
So I've just had to say to Gav now, please don't tag me in any more photos. please don't tag me in photos, guys, because it's getting a bit crazy. Where when it gets to this time of the year with WWE over here, everybody tags me in a fucking phone box.
See, this is what comes with being popular. You see, mate, you have to have little things like this.
Yeah, but I understand that everybody knows my feelings. It's not I don't hate the phone box. I look at phone boxes every day of my life. I see these red things every single day. It's just the fact that people don't get it. I keep saying this until I'm blue in the face. The fact is, I don't hate the red phone box. I don't hate the black taxi. It's the fact, and I'm saying this for the millionth time so people can listen and understand, is I don't like the fact that we've got the same set for the WWE as we've had for 15 years. That's the beef. It's not the phone box. It's not the taxi. It's the fact that they've not changed that fucking set for 15 years. Yeah. That's the beef.
I think as well, it just stereotypes England in a sense by just saying, well, you guys are all about black cabs and phone boxes.
When was the last time anybody used a phone box here? When was the last time? Everybody's got mobile phones.
Yeah. It's strange. Very. Well, you got a good point there. What they should have done is try to be a bit more sensible. And the cities that they go to, try and show some things that they can either internationally link so that when people around the world watch the show, they'll go, all right, they're in Sheffield for argument's sake. So I don't know, whatever's famous about Sheffield. And then same in Manchester, Birmingham, things like that.
Yeah, they could get a piece of the old Don Valley Stadium for Sheffield that they've just demolished. That'd be cool.
Something like that, at least. Or get one of the wrestlers to come out in a Wednesday top. There's certainly not extremes, but there are means that they can use.
So get onto the wrestling side of things. Are you all set for Preston next week?
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah,
it sounds stupid. I'm really looking forward to seeing Uha Nation.
Yeah.
As well as seeing you, obviously. That's always a pleasure.
You're
not going?
No, my TV blew up last week. I've had to buy a new TV.
Well, that comes first. Happy wife.
But I'm coming. I'll make an announcement now. August 1st for the anniversary show. I'm there. I swear to God, I'm there for the anniversary show.
Well, I'll catch up with you there then, mate.
I've got to come for that. I've got my the worst thing is I got all my finances sorted. I got the fact I was going to buy the super ticket. I was going to get the meet and greets. I was getting everything done. I was going to spoil myself for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
Then this bleeding TV went poof. I went, oh, you are kidding me.
Yeah.
Don't you dare do this to me. And next thing you know, as I went, and I spoiled myself. I bought a massive TV and a soundbar. So
Fantastic. Well, you know what? You've made up for it, haven't
yeah,
you?
so the WWE network sounds great on my house now. So they've got that going. But I know everybody associates me with the phone box, and I know it's something that, as since day one, we've done this show that everybody sees twice a year. Everybody laughs. Nixie laughs her head off at it.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks with the phone box, and it's just part of me now. It's just I'm just so sick to death of the WWE giving us a fucking bleeding, give us a different set. That's all I want. I've even tried to start a petition up on that Change.org to get rid of the phone box, and it wouldn't let me do it. I was so pissed off, it wouldn't let me do it. I was like, I'm gonna get this fucking petition up. I'm gonna get it up. If anybody can get a petition up, so there's a petition up at the moment to stop the British Bulldog getting into the Hall of Fame. This is our stupid.
You're joking.
Yeah, because being part of this group on Facebook that's trying to get the Bulldog in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
We had these idiots up north, up in Sunderland, that started spamming and being idiots and everything towards it. And next thing I know is they've started a petition now to stop the Bulldog getting into the Hall of Fame, which is absolutely ridiculous.
That is quite sad, isn't it?
It's sick. Did you realise today it's 15 years since Owen went?
Yeah. I saw that on this morning on Facebook. It's amazing to think that 15 years have passed.
I think, well, everybody knows where I was 15 years ago. I was in Wales, and I got the news, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
And, that really was a freaky day. That was one of them days. It's like, well, hold on a minute. We got to chill out here and remember. And people that knew Brett, and they didn't know Owen as much, because if you're not a wrestling fan, you knew who Brett was, but you didn't know much about Owen. But
yeah.
Do you know, I still have, I mean, I've got the network. I've got the WWE network, but I just can't bring myself to watch that pay-per-view yet. I can't do it. I can watch most of the things on the network, no problem. But when it comes to watching that pay-per-view, I can't do it.
It's tough, isn't it? Well, did you... It was... I didn't watch it live. It was on pay-per-view, so I didn't realise, because the internet wasn't a massive deal in those days. So I don't think we found out until a few days later. And then it was like, Jesus, he's dead. But he hasn't died in the ring. Well, technically, he's died because of an accident in his entrance. And it's like, well, what was he bloody doing? And then obviously it all came out that it was to do with the...
I was on a campsite, and somebody got a newspaper about 3-4 days later. And then it just looked at it, and you're like, what? And someone says, hey, Dean, have you seen this? And the next thing I knew, I looked at it and it said Owen Hart died in a fall, and that's all I knew. And then from there, I had to bring up my mates who were wrestling fans in Sheffield and just saying, what happened? And then they were telling me and saying, yeah, it's big news, mate. It's really, really massive now. Brett's gone ape shit and everything. And it's frightening to think that if it hadn't have happened, where would Owen have gone? Owen would have been with the WWE now. Would he have gone to the TNA circus, or would he have done Ring of Honor? There's all these places now where if Owen was alive, that would he have done it, or would he have gone back to Canada and done Stampede Wrestling?
Or become a trainer himself, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if you think about it, I'm just thinking of the matches that were on that night, and there is, off the top of my head, 3 wrestlers that were on that show that are still actively wrestling today.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. I think I'm right in Kane, Mark Henry, and Big Show.
Yeah.
Off the top of my head, I'm sure they're the only 3 that are still wrestling now, and that's 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. It always does hit home when you talk about wrestlers who've been and gone, because we were watching, me and Stocko watched the Royal Rumble not too long ago, and it was unreal. Oh, he's dead. Oh, he's dead. He's dead.
I've done that.
Oh man, it's so sad.
I did it with the show I did it with was the first pay-per-view I ever watched, SummerSlam '91, and it was like every match somebody's gone, and it's like, yep, gone, boom, your Legion of Doom, gone. So the first match is the most frightening one, because you've got 6-man tag match, and half of the people are dead. you've got
horrific.
Hercules, Texas Tornado, and the Bulldog, and it's like, whoa. And every match is from that moment on. You got Perfect, Hawk, Bossman. Oh, it's frightening. And now Warrior main event.
Warrior.
And
Warrior in the chat room's got a good point there. Goldust as well, but wasn't Goldust on Sunday Night Heat? He wasn't actually on the main show.
Wasn't Triple H doing it all? But do we class him as an active wrestler?
I suppose we could class him in also, but more management maybe.
Yeah, Sunday Night Heat. Yay, Channel 4. Remember them days?
I do. The intro used to be fantastic.
I played SmackDown 2 the other day, and I was just like, just the startup of SmackDown 2 on the old PlayStation 1 just got you, and I was like, get in there.
Yeah, just so blocky.
Classic games.
My favourite one was No Mercy on the N64. Yeah. I used to love that game so much.
I love Raw 2 on the Xbox, on the original Xbox, because the story mode is just never ending. Yeah. And doing a ladder match in that is impossible.
Yep.
But this week I'm just getting back to the things that over the last few days. I on Tuesday night I'm a moderator in another room for an American radio show called WZR. It's where the idea for British Wrestling Radio came from. It's all that the format was there, and I hold these guys in high regard. And the funniest thing is, on Tuesday night, about 1 minute 52 into the show, which is on YouTube, the host decides to diss me for wearing a John Cena shirt and the wristbands, the famous photograph I took of me doing a John Cena impersonator. And he started dissing me and everything, and I'm like, and I was just going to bed, and Winter's Lair, who's not in here for some reason because I think he's working, said, you got to come back in, Ryan's dissing you. He's dissing you because of your Cena pick. And I went, right, I'm having you, right, I'm having this. So rung him up. So I rung America, and I went, he goes, hi, this is WZR, what, you're on the show? And I went, is this Ryan and Matt? I went, yes, this is Deano UK, and I have got some bad news. And literally spent the next 5 minutes having a battle with him, and he's going, why did you wear it? Why did you wear it? And I'm like, don't give me this shit. Don't give me this crap, you. So, but it was funny. But the fact is that this picture now has gone onto an America thing, and all this thing with John Cena and me doing Word Life, and so you think you're untouchable. It's just going. I think it's the funniest thing in the world. It's just really, really funny now that all of a sudden it's like, oh, Dino's a Cena mark. I promise you this. And if nobody's seen The Call Center, do you ever see a TV show called The Call Center?
Yeah. I know the one.
In this series, we've had one guy wearing a John Cena t-shirt. And on this week's episode, we had a guy wearing a bleeding Cena hat.
Oh, man.
I'm like, what? It's Swansea, isn't it, though? It's Swansea. It's like, why would you wear Cena stuff to work? Why would you... What possesses you to wake up in the morning and go, oh, out of all the clothes I've got for work, I will wear my John Cena t-shirt?
Yeah.
Oh, it was the purple. It was the purple hat as well. I was like, what the fuck? You bought that fucking thing?
Yeah.
I think the last time I bought anything from the WWE, it was an NWO baseball cap, NWO t-shirt, and a Triple H hoodie that my mate at work fell in love with so quick. I put it on for 3 minutes. And he offered me double money what I paid for it, and I went, fine, here you go. So I had my hoodie for about 3 minutes with Triple H on the front. So that was like 2002. But now I just make up t-shirts as I go along. But anyway, we'll get back to things. Next week, PCW have this Super Show 4 with MVP, Al Snow, Urination.
Hurricane.
For the benefit of people that's never been to PCW, now I've been twice, and I'm in no position to talk about PCW as much as you, because you go every single time. I love the fact that when I first went, you guys won the raffle. Stocko won the raffle, and then he won it again and again. Yeah. Everybody thinks it's a fix, but if you want a great atmosphere and a great time and a great venue, tell people about PCW.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. The venue is awesome. It's just brilliantly laid out. Everyone who goes is fantastic in the crowd, and the guys that they have performing are just unbelievable. Steve Fludder, who runs PCW, has got a fantastic setup, and it just keeps getting better and better because he puts he puts the time and effort and the money into making sure that the setup for the entrances is perfect. So they've got all the lights, they've got a big stand with curtains, they've got smoke machines, they've got the PA system because it's a nightclub. The whole atmosphere just draws you in and just adds that extra 100% to the show that makes it just all the more better. It's probably better that you've only been there twice because the magic is still there. I go every time. I expect it now.
Yeah.
Whereas for you, it's more of a surprise still. I expect it to be that good every time I go. I expect the shows to be top notch. I went to the last one where Prince Devitt against Chris Travis, and it was unbelievable. Went to the show before that with the Rumble. Every show has just got so many high points to it. The only one show that I've been to that was a bit of a downer and a bit sad was when Lionheart broke his neck.
Yeah.
But again, even that, the guys who run PCW handled the situation perfectly. Everyone still enjoyed the show, and it's top notch. I couldn't speak highly enough of it, hence why I go every single time to it.
I must admit now, I mean, I'm down here now, and I'm looking at cheap ways to get in there. And as much as I look back at my 2 times, and when you get a guy flying all the way from Canada, and he wants to come to a British wrestling, and he says, I'm not bothered about a WWE, I want to see the Brits. And he comes over here, and he went into that venue, and I've never seen anybody drink as much as Winters in my life. And he loved that venue so much. He loved everything about it. He said people were so friendly. Everybody was asking him if you really come from Canada. I don't know what Steve Fludder did, but I think he made Winters feel $1 million that night. I don't know what he did, and I still don't know, but I've got to ask him. I said, did you really tell people he was from Canada or something?
Yeah.
Because Winters was just all over the place. He was so made out for it. And then he went to Southside a couple of days later and saw it from it, and saw the wrestlers that he saw on the Friday night. He says it better than anyone because he saw Travis and he saw Kirby as faces. But then on the Sunday, he saw them both as heels in Southside. And he says, I wouldn't get that anywhere else. He said, and that I loved the fact I could see him on both sides of this scale. He says, I loved the fact it was amazing to watch that, all that.
That's a good point.
But to answer the question, Warrior says, is that the arena with a glass chandelier? The chandelier has gone. They had a big, massive chandelier above the ring, didn't they, at PCW? And then it's gone. And because the nightclub changed name, didn't it? And they had a new interior or anything, so.
That's it, and it was a shame because that chandelier just hanging above the ring, I agree, it made such a lovely difference. It was just such a nice centerpiece, and it added to the show, especially when they're doing the top rope moves, and you see them just glazing the top and the dust falling off it. Absolutely fantastic.
I love the fact that when I went, and it's nice when I get to see people like Dave Rain, Dave Mastiff in his bastard mode, and you get to see people that you don't normally see, and I think Joey Hayes and all these other guys, and I look at it and I think, oh, great stuff. And then I like going to see all over the place now. And do you think that British wrestling over the last 18, 20 months has really gone skyrocketed in the few days? Because we've gone from like PCW and Steve and Ben with Southside and Future Pro and all these other ones saying, oh, we've done well, we've sold 150, to now wanting to touch 1,000 tickets a show. And it's flying. It's really, really flying now.
It just shows that the British guys are bringing them in, and they get more on the import guys that they bring in. There's no bitter feelings there because it causes the British guys to raise their game, and people will go to the show. For argument's sake, Southside, their next show, you've got like who's on?
It's Hurricane.
That's it. Hurricane.
Chris Hero.
Tommy Ender's there as well.
Yeah.
And it's a case of they go there to see these more internationally known stars, but then go, I really enjoyed this guy, and I really enjoyed that guy, and I thought this guy was brilliant. And they'll go back to the next show to see what the British guys are like again, regardless for just going to see the big stars.
Yeah, I think you're looking at it now. I mean, next week, Preston's got MVP.
Yeah.
He's got Al Snow. And you've had Vader up there, and you've had all the other guys. I mean, AJ Styles, Chris Masters.
Yeah.
Chris Masters must have a season ticket now because he's there at PCW so much. But you only go to places you work where you get respected and you get happy and you get, most importantly, with all the guys, you get paid.
Yes, very important. Very important. To be fair, again, it just shows how good of a job the British promoters are doing, but how much the import guys are enjoying wrestling, the UK guys, because, some may come over just for the payday, but if they didn't enjoy it, they wouldn't come back. It would be a one-off.
No, exactly right. I think when you look back at a year ago, and I think it was this time last year, we had the big thing about Pro Wrestling Republic going, and all these people had paid hotel fees and everything, and he decided I'm not doing it anymore, can't be hassle. Yeah. And you had Steve Carino coming over, I think it was, and he just turned around and he said to Kid Cash, don't bother going to the UK. He says they don't pay us, they don't give anything. And Kid Cash went on Twitter and he slated the UK scene for weeks. Yeah. And I literally went on, and a few other people joined me, and they said, "Hey, don't clash us all with the same brush, pal. Yeah. Just because one company's fucked you up. Is there one company that works in America? No. Don't just class us like bleeding all shit over here. There's a lot of good guys over here." And I got into a Twitter war with Kid Cash about it. But at the end of it, he realised that there's more than one company. Yeah. He realised that he says, I didn't realise there was that many. And I said, yeah, of course there bloody is.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. Don't tar us all with the same brush. But...
I mean, we've just had in Plymouth, we've just had Gunnar and James Storm over.
Really?
So they've been getting people in and everything. And now Future Pro Wrestling in London, they've just announced they're going to have an NXT battle. Martin Stone and Joey, I forgot his bleeding second name now as well. But it's all over the show. I mean, Warrior said in Kamikaze Pro this Sunday, Juventud Guerrera's here as well. I don't know if he's at Preston next week, is he?
He is, yeah.
So it's another one. Do you think Ben and Stephen are sharing the imports now?
To be honest with you, do you know what? They'd be mad not to. What a perfect opportunity.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, if I remember off the top of my head, PCW, MVP, Hurricane, Uha Nation, Masters, Al Snow, Low Key, Juventud, and Red Dragon, I think. Yeah, they're all the guys over. And then Southside are using...
Chris Hero, Hurricane.
Yeah, Chris Hero, Hurricane.
Uha Nation.
Yeah, Uha. His entrance is the best entrance music I've ever heard. It's amazing.
Right. This is the list what we've got for May 30th, Super Show. Oh my God. They've got Juventud Guerrera, Uha Nation, Chris Masters, Low Key, Al Snow, Red Dragon, Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, MVP, and the Hurricane. That's just at Preston. You can't knock that. I mean, for three shows for 45 quid and you get all them guys, you'd be crazy too.
You would.
Amazing. Amazing.
Let's see. I think I've got it here. You've got Uha Nation, Juvi Guerrero, Chris Hero, Hurricane, and Tommy Ends. Yeah, they're all the guys. But then again, is there still... I'm sure when they were doing the Money in the Bank, there was only 3 people that had been announced for that for Southside, if I remember correct.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Future Shock. I've just announced another show, Future Shock Underground 5. Jack Gallagher will take on T-Bone.
Awesome. That'll be good.
So you got a Future Shock, don't you? When you used to. Did you?
Yeah, that's right. We've been to... There's Future Shock where they have it in Stockport, Guildhall, and then the Underground is in... something... It's in another place. The other place... They're both Future Shock put on a cracking show. Next time you come down, if you can stay over or stay long enough on the Sunday to catch a show, you should definitely go to Future Shock. Very, very good. Very entertaining.
Also, I think Dave Rain runs a cracking promotion there. And if nobody's seen Dave Rain, and I know people still haven't seen Dave Rain, I'm not kidding. To see this guy in the ring and on the mic is one of the things of British wrestling what you've got to see.
He is an absolute highlight, isn't he?
He comes in with this Boom Championship now because he wears it upside down because no one else is good enough to read the championship, apparently. He says the only one person who can read champion is me. And he comes up with... the best promo I've ever heard him do it. He had Goldust in the ring, and he said, "Listen, it's not my fault that your brother's tash is more over than you ever was."
Oh, I remember
Genius,
that. Yeah.
absolute genius. The way he comes out with. There's been highlights at PCW. Madman Manson doing the Canadian Destroyer move.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Literally every person in the whole room, open mouth, watching that as soon as he hit it, and everyone stood up, and it was just like, what's he done? What has he just done?
I think you look at it and you think of all the great things that's happened, and I mean, Madman Manson, bless his heart, he goes in that ring and he will have everybody in the palm of his hand.
Yes.
When I went at the end of February on the Friday night, and I can still see it to this day, when he was in the ring with Danny Hope, and you've got Maria having her head bowed down, and all you can see is her shoulders going up and down like this, and going, she's lost it, she's cracking up, and she was laughing her head off, and all you could see was the hair, and her shoulders was going, and it was because Manson was doing so much stupid shit in the ring that she could not keep a straight face, and she was trying to be a heel at the time, and she couldn't do it. And they told us after a couple of days later, they said, yeah, Maria had lost it in the ring. She was crying because Madman Manson had her in tears. Madman Manson and Danny Hope, hilarious.
Yeah, there's no one that Manson can't break with his sense of humour. He can crack anybody.
Oh, I think everybody knows when he came on here. It's literally now, 2 years ago now. Yeah. And bloody hell, it's that long ago. And the first words out in his mouth is, hello there, you fucking idiot. I'm like, oh, here we go. Oh, here we go. Nixie was crying, and I'm like, my first interview with a proper wrestler and everything, and I get the guy of all guys.
Yep.
Oh, Manson, you are a star. And never forget that night ever.
I think that's the beauty of him. You only have to watch him once in a live show.
Yeah.
And you know what? You never forget him.
I never have. I think the first one I went to, Ben begged me, was the first anniversary of Southside. And this is how big I think Southside has got. Yeah. They went at Southside 2 years ago at the first anniversary show. They had 3 rows of seats around the ring. A week on Sunday, he's only got 20 seats left in the whole place. And he's sold it out completely. He's now getting to a stage where he's selling out his hometown every show. And
that's awesome.
Ben is like, he's got this big grin on his face now. And I am so happy for him because he's worked his arse off trying to get St. Nate's, his home, to be a sellout. Now he's doing it on a regular basis. Every show he's got now, it's things like since the anniversary show, every time they've been to St. Nate's, it's a sellout. Same with PCW, same with all these other great promotions now. They're starting to sell out arenas, and they've got to find bigger arenas now, and they've got to go to other places.
What a nice thing to say as well.
It's PCW doing a free show, aren't they?
They are, tribute to the troops. Yep.
You going to that one?
Carlito and Chris Masters. Yeah, we will be.
It's a free show, isn't it?
Well, that's it. But also, it's for an awesome charity because it's for Help for Heroes.
Yeah.
So, you know what? More than happy to go and drop a few quid and give them some money because you know what? It's going to be good.
Right now, I think over the last week and a bit, we've had some Americans over here.
Yeah. Some
called the World Wrestling Entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've got a little discussion I want to pass with you, and this is a little bit of a taboo subject. So if you don't want to do it, mate, I can understand.
Okay.
It's people that go to British shows and they won't pay £5. They won't pay £5 for the picture with a wrestler in the ring, but it's done with a professional photographer. It's done with a professional camera. It's always in focus, and you get a great little picture at the end of it.
Yeah.
But they would rather go and grab a wrestler in the crowd, do it on their mobile phone, and do it in a selfie way that is going to be cockeyed to the side, out of focus, and in the face, and everything. If you're meeting them in the street, I've got no problem with that. The problem is when you do it at shows. It's like when they just grab somebody that's walking out there and he's got a drink and he's going to go, oh, can you have a photograph and a photograph?
Yeah.
Well, that's not fair on the promoter and everything like that. That's just got this guy in to do the pictures for you and everything, and having a great photographer done with it. And it just pisses me off that you get all these fans that's like, oh yeah, I've got a picture of AJ Styles. I've got look, it's out of focus. You can hardly see it because it's that dark. And it's on a bleeding mobile phone from like 4 or 5 years ago. And
you got a point. Well, that's it. You've got a good point there. If you want a great memory that you can look back on and remember, pay the money to get a professional photo and something that you can keep for a long time. Put it on your phone, put it on your desktop, print it off, rather than, like you just said, a blurred photo, something that's out of focus, or a picture that is someone's finger because they pressed the wrong button on the phone.
Yeah. I got it this week. There was a lot of photos of Batista by loads of people because he was in the audience for the William Regal thing. And everybody was like, oh, look, I've had a photograph with Batista. You couldn't see it. It was so dark. All these pictures of them with Batista, and it was so bloody dark. And of all the people to have a photograph took Batista, he's the bottom of my list. That Mr. Personality of the bleeding century. No way. I think, I mean, it's just gets you go when you see promoters. And I mean, I'm not going to hold myself out because I did a wrong thing last year, and Ben gave me such a bollocking for it, and I apologized, and I've never done it since, and I'll never do it. I did it speaking last year. I forgot everybody was paying £3-4 to have a photograph took with Jay Lethal.
Yeah,
and I took it at the end, and he had a photograph took with me, and Ben went, "You didn't take that. You didn't pay for that picture, did you?" And I went, "Oh shit, no, what have I done?" As soon as I did it, I realized what I'd done. I thought, "Oh, you dickhead." And Ben said to me, he said, "Don't ever do that again." I said, "I'm really sorry, mate. I apologize. I'll pay for the next 4 week on Sunday." Everybody knows in this thing that I've been looking forward to seeing the Hurricane for so long.
Yeah.
I can't wait for next week. I'm paying the money for the picture, the photograph, the whole 10 yards. I can't wait to have a photograph took with Hurricane. I really can't. And I'm so looking forward to that because if everybody's been listening to this over the last 6-7 weeks, I've done nothing but gone crazy about the guy going, "What's up with that?" and all that crap and everything. And even my wife is going up the wall because she's going, "Have you done this yet?" And I went, "What's up with that?" and doing the pause and everything. And if I could get a Hurricane outfit, number one rule in the meet and greet: don't be behind line behind Gavin Knotts and bloody Ollie. Them two lads, when they do a meet and greet, boy, do they get their money's worth. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I think we got all the. I mean, do you think though with the picture, it's like, I understand if people have only got £2 in their pocket and they want a picture. Yeah, finances are hard. I can put up with that, but it's like we both just said. Would you rather it be a nice professional one and everything? And it just seems crazy at times that people I want to do it on a selfie, and this bleeding selfie phenomenon is just getting worse.
Do you know what? I think it's definitely a generation thing, isn't it? Because the likes of you and I would pay to get the picture, get it done properly, get in the ring, looks really good, and we're made up with that. And again, sometimes when we go to shows at like PCW and whatnot, it's well documented. Stocko and I stay behind and get absolutely bladdered. And yet we do get photos with the guys then, but it's not something that we purposely set out to do. It just happens naturally. If you just grab someone, stick your camera in their face and take the picture, it's a good job that they're not rude enough to push you away or shout.
Yeah. I mean, one memory I've got from February is Stocko having his photograph took with the Godfather.
Yeah. And the only person who had the brass balls to take his hat and put it on.
If anybody knows who Stocko is, he's easy. He's the most tattooed guy you've ever seen in your life, and he's got the biggest heart you've ever seen.
I agree.
And he is an absolute legend. As soon as you guys saw me in that February, Dino! Oh, God, here we go. Yeah. And there was Sharon and all the other guys and everything. Emma. That's the thing I love about British wrestling is I have met so many nice people and so many great, great friends that you go to venues and you see them all. And no matter what show you go to, you see them all. It's like I go to London and I saw Pixie and I saw Shaman and I saw Mark from the BritRest chat.
Yeah.
And I saw them guys. I saw Ross that does the takeover and Mikey that does the takeover as well.
Yeah.
And then you go to PCW and you see you see Stocko, you see Sharon, you see Emma Chamberlain. Yeah. Emma Chamberlain is Miss British Wrestling.
She's an absolute star, isn't she?
She will go anywhere. She will go anywhere for the show. She's addicted to wrestling. if anybody's going to marry Emma, they better have the words WWE or wrestling and put in their bloody name, because that is one smart girl, and she worships wrestling.
Unfortunately, it's going to be her boyfriend Paul, who's an absolutely wonderful chap, and it's a good job he's just as big as a fan as she is, because if someone started in a relationship with her and wasn't a wrestling fan, it wouldn't last long. Let's just put it that way.
Photographs with Kirby and Travis are legend.
Yes. And Dave Rain as well. Dave Rain, always does something untoward in the pictures. Always.
Yeah. It's this British community. I think family is not a right word sometimes, because we're closer than that. Because no matter if somebody's down, you can always say, like, if somebody needs something, what we're doing, everybody pulls rank, everybody goes round, and it's like, come on, we're gonna get this done together. And
it just shows more as well from the charity shows that you do, how many people get involved, how much money is raised, the wrestlers themselves who get involved. It just shows how close everybody is and how much everyone is going in the same direction, and we all care about the same things.
I think because it was Callum, I know that everybody's going, oh yeah, we did 3 of them, and I thought, but I wouldn't have done it for anybody else. Because me and Nixie was wondering about a 3rd one this year, and we was going, shall we do it, shall we not? And then saw this message that the money situation, and I went, right, we go. And it wasn't up to the standard of all the other ones for me. It wasn't. Me and Nixie had so many problems, so many technical things. Everything went wrong. I remember firing Nixie the day before because she wasn't speaking to me for some reason. So everything that could have gone wrong went wrong that week, and we shouldn't have done it, but we still managed to get 500 quid for the kid.
Cannot argue at all, mate.
Over the 3 shows, if somebody had said to me a couple of years ago when we did the first one that, by the way, in 2 years' time you'd have raised 1,500 quid for him, I'd have said, in your dreams. But we did, and that's through all the guys that came on. We had McGuinness, Lionheart, Evan Ginsberg, Ben, Steve Flood on the first one. We had so many great people came on over the shows. Brit Rest Chat guys. Dinah Smith, Georgia Smith. Talking to the Bulldog's ex-wife has got to be my highlight of all time. To go from that, and then McGuinness 12 hours later was got to be like, really? And I've still got that show. I still listen to it myself. I've got to put it up one day so people can actually listen to me marking out. I've still got the 3rd one when we had Lionheart. Lionheart came on in the first hour. And I was like, and I was fucking stupid, because I was like, what do I say to him? This guy's like 3-4 weeks after he's just broke his neck. What do I say to him? What do I do? And I was trying to talk about his promotion, Pro Wrestling Elite, and all these things. And I'm like, what do I do? And he was so kind and everything. So, but I'm hoping he gets back. But it's like I said, the doctors may make a decision for him. But it's Lionheart, and
it is, mate. You can't keep the champ down.
No, and I think he talked about the reception he got at PCW. It was just after he went back to PCW to hand the belt back. It was.
I was there. It was moving very. It was amazing. Everyone stood up, clapped, and you could see the emotion in his face, how much it meant to him, and that just made it all the better.
Can I take you back to that night it happened?
Yes.
I mean, there was some dickhead that did a video of the moment it happened. And Steve Fludder hit the roof because he said nobody's allowed to do recordings. If there's one rule that Steve's got, it's no personal recordings. Do what you want, but don't record the shows, which is fine. Then when it happened and all Facebook exploded, as it always does with things that you get to hear about, and we heard these things that everybody was taken out of the place and everything that was out there, and things happened. What was it like as a fan, as you're watching the thing unravel, and then all of a sudden you got the announcement saying, can everybody please go outside?
Well, first off, throughout it all, the staff of PCW and Steve were just amazing how they handled everything, because People were watching the show. We saw them go up for the Styles Clash, and then bang, he hit, and it was like, oh, he's lying down. AJ's, oh no, I think he's hurt him. I think he's hurt him. And everyone knew something had gone wrong, but it was really weird because people knew something had gone wrong, but didn't know whether it was planned or not. So it was a bit, everyone was just on tenterhooks looking and waiting to see what had happened. And then the guys all came in, very, very professional, very, very, very good. Just ushered everybody out. Said, right, we're going to stop the show now. Everyone, please leave, go out. Got the doctors in, took them off. And it was just really, I don't know, it was very surreal because no one knew what to do. No one knew what had happened. No one knew what to expect. All we knew, we were watching a show, a move happened, and now we were being ushered out, which showed the seriousness of what was going on. It was just really weird because no one was talking. It was just everyone was quietly just shuffling out, looking at the ring, trying to see what was going on with Lionheart. It was it wasn't nice. There was not a nice feeling in the air because everyone was in shock, but everyone was really worried to make sure that Lionheart was okay.
How many of the crowd actually thought it was a work? Was some people going, "Oh yeah, it's a work. Yeah, it's a work."
I easily could have said probably 50% of the crowd because at first I thought, no, he's all right. It was meant. Oh no, the strap on his neck up. No, it's not. The initial reaction to everyone was it was a move. It went as planned, and they were just playing through what they were supposed to play through, and then it was like, no, it's not anymore. So probably half the crowd thought it was, and then changed their mind. And then there was probably a good section of the crowd that were like front row who saw it, and they knew straight away that yeah, he's not pretending. He's really hurt. It was just weird, really, really weird and strange how it all played out.
It's a shame then that that's the incident everybody remembers from a fantastic weekend of wrestling.
It is because the show itself was fantastic. Yeah. So many good matches.
Oh, the first night was it was manic. The first night when you had you had Grado versus Dave Rain, and you had Kirby and Travis. The first match of the whole weekend's Kirby Travis, and you're like, what? Really?
That's it. That is your opener. Wow.
It's just like that's all I'm saying from Shawn Michaels. Follow that if you can, and but I like there's all these people that you see in the British scene, and there's all these great shows. I think Full House in Peterborough have just announced they've got Styx taking on Doug Williams.
Yeah.
But it's that's going to be a good one itself. I'm going to see if I can get to that if I can. I've already had it because now we're getting to that time of year that we had last year when a certain event came up in Sheffield and I was invited to take part in a fucking 45-man Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
And I've been asked about 5, 8, so many times at this moment saying, are you doing it again?
Well, are you doing it again?
I have not been asked. That's
okay.
That's right.
Does that mean you're open for options?
I said last year, and I quote, it was a one-time thing because I watched it back and I still watch it back on YouTube to this day. And I have no business being in a wrestling ring. I move as good as Vince McMahon. Right? To go in that ring, to stand there at that stairs, and all of a sudden, hey Dean, you're up next.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I looked out of the curtain that just fallen down, and all I could see was Sharon, Rob, and Callum.
Yeah.
Callum stood up and he's got his phone pointing straight at the ring, and then I pointed at him and he went mental. And I'm like, what the fuck going on here? And I would do it. The funniest thing was when Scott told I was throwing out the main heel. He's not been seen since, by the way. This is absolutely true. The man that I threw out of the Royal Rumble has not been seen since. He is too ashamed to show his face,
Oh,
Nick,
wow.
because I've knocked him out. I pulled him out of a Rumble. It is absolutely true. He's not been seen since. So,
What have you done? You've ruined the poor guy.
I know. I've embarrassed him. I've embarrassed him totally. 3 minutes 27 seconds. It was 3 minutes 27 seconds, and as much as I'd love to do it again, yes, I'm saying it now. Give me a chance. I would love another crack at it. Don't get me wrong. I would love that other go at it because I want to do it. I want to see the guys again. I really want to go it and go in there and do it. I'd go for like 10 minutes this time, 10, 15 minutes. The worst thing about it is I've got the personal video of me, and all you can hear is my sister. My sister going, "Oh, look, he's biting Ardeen." I sold a bit. This guy says, "I'm going to bite you. Sell it." I sold it beautifully because my sister on the back row was going ape that she was going, "He's biting Ardeen. Look at him. He's biting him." And I never felt a thing. And it was genius. But if I can sell it to my sister, I can sell it to anyone. But awesome. Amazing day.
That's good. At least your hat is in the ring, so to speak. If the request comes in.
No, I would. If Elite British Wrestling, even though if anybody's listening, because they got the NCWA Academy on Saturdays, and there's Andrew Hogg and there's Mikey Rose that taught me in the ring for the 2 hours before it. And there's all these great people, Mark Sanderson and Chris Norman and all these amazing people that I know. Danielle, if you offer it, man, I'll do it. Okay? I will do it. And this time, I don't have the Dolph Ziggler hairstyle, so I'm better for it. So I don't have Dolph Ziggler on my head anymore. So it'd have to be something completely different, I suppose.
Well, like an alligator mask?
No, but I did promise this year. I said it to Warrior One can vouch on this. If I did get the chance again, I'd put the Ultimate Warrior face paint on. I would do that for him. I would do that because of everything that's happened this year. Do I have the red knee pads? No, I don't. That is the best story in the world behind them knee pads. They were thrown on my feet 2 minutes before I was going in the ring. I stood there and they went, "Hey, he's got no knee pads." What? He's got no knee pads? You can't go in the ring with no knee pads. You can't look like Cody Rhodes. And that was the funniest. And I went, all of a sudden, they threw these knee pads at me, and I just threw them on my legs, and they matched my shoes, so I was cool. And I did look like John Cena with my footwear, so I'm not saying that. But I am not a Cena mark. I am not a John Cena mark, okay? I am not John Cena. Get it out of your bleeding heads. Yeah, talking of which, what do you think to the WWE this week? Raw and things like that. Did you see it?
I didn't. I skipped through a lot of it because I was on the train trying to watch bits of it. I think I'm starting to struggle a little bit now because although Evolution in the Shield is a pretty cool thing, and Cena and Wyatt still got plenty of legs, I don't know, it's just a bit too samey at the minute. And I can't see where they're going with a lot of things. Just trying to think of what was a highlight. What about yourself? What did you enjoy about it this week?
I know one thing I didn't like. I didn't like Paige losing.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
I didn't like the fact that Paige had to lose in her home country, live on TV. That yes, she's a champion, but to get Alicia Fox, who without a shadow of doubt is the worst person on a roster in women's wrestling by a mile, and
she's not great.
I think, you're going, what are you doing? And do you think he's got the whole world in his hands? He's going to last much longer? Because as much as I loved it with WrestleMania and thing, there is a point where he's getting to like, oh god, here we go again. Yeah,
it's gone past the point of where it was great and it was creepy. Now it's just like, it's not fun anymore. Now it's not got the impact that it had when it first came out.
Yeah, I think the hour of TV skipped out must have been the adverts, because that when you watch a 3-hour Raw, this is what makes me laugh. You watch a 3-hour Raw and then you look at somewhere on YouTube, or you look at it a couple of days later and everything else, and it's only like 2 hours long. There's an hour and 15 minutes of adverts. It's stupid the amount of advertisements they have. It was a nice crowd. Don't get me wrong. Lee James, who's not in our chat room, went and he said that when Stephanie McMahon was in the ring, and she was talking, you couldn't hear her for the CM Punk chants, but on the TV, you never heard it. You never heard a CM Punk chant.
Yeah.
They heavily edited the crowd again in London. They know for the fact that when they get to London, they're going to outshout anything in America. And the WWE are doing what they do best. Oh, we can't have UK being louder than the Americans.
Yeah, well, let's change that.
It's bullshit the way they do it at the moment. And also, Vince is very poor this week because, like, losing 450 million in stocks shares.
I was going to say, yeah, that might leave a bit of a bitter taste in his mouth, mightn't it?
Bloody hell! I think all that stock market's crashed. Dear, that has really, really got to affect it. Yeah. Do you think this network, when it comes over officially, I'll say the word officially.
Yeah.
They've got 600,000 subscribers now.
Yeah.
How many do you think they'll get when officially the UK one comes over here by the end of the year? Oh.
I've got a feeling whatever they're going to estimate at, it will be maybe a quarter of that. 600,000 subscribers in America, and there's a good few. Well, if I had to guess how many people lived in America, you're talking couple of 90 million maybe.
Yeah. If you can't get 1 million subscribers for WrestleMania, because that's what they did it for, so you could watch WrestleMania. And the thing, I mean, I know I've got it, and I know Nixie's got it. Is how many people who are registered with the WWE Network are actually watching it in the UK, Canada, Europe, and other places because they've worked out how to be an American account.
You know what I think what it is? If you look at it, it's probably the fact that it's a signed-in contract. If they did it more on a pay-as-you-go basis, maybe that would entice more people in. It's a monthly subscription-based deal.
Yeah.
They're only offering you
6 months.
That's it. Sign up for 6 months, and after WrestleMania, they're saying we'll give you a week free. That doesn't entice me to want to spend a few quid every month on that. Don't get me wrong. The content that is on there looks magic.
Oh,
it is. It's everything you could possibly ever want to watch from the past, but it's being signed into a 6-month contract, which if they just did it on a monthly basis, maybe that would attract more.
Well, what I did is I signed up 6 months, and it's a monthly PayPal, come out your PayPal account every month. So you don't take all the money out at once. So they just take it out every month, but you just sign up for the 6 month. Mine is going to go up to, I think it's September. So I get WrestleMania and I get SummerSlam. Now, nice. I've got a sneaking feeling that, I'm going to keep it because when you're in your house and you're like, well, what can I watch? I know. I'll put it on. The things they did with the Warrior the week that he passed was amazing on that network.
Yeah.
The content, like watching the old WCW 90s pay-per-views, is great because you can see all the things and everything going, wow, look who we got here. We got Jericho, Malenko, Benoit, Guerrero. Yeah. You had all these great wrestlers. Mysterio.
Think of the history you've got just by going to the NWA and AWA stuff. Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes from the start. The Road Warriors making the debut. There's just so much content there. I've just done a quick look on Facebook. They've got 19 million likes on Facebook, yet they've only got 600,000 subscribers. They've got I would not be surprised if in the next couple of months it doesn't change. The pricing scheme. Stephen had a good point there. Mongo McMichael, forgot about him.
Yeah. I look at it this way. They've said they're gonna put all the Raws and all the SmackDowns on there as well, so you could go and watch the years. I've got the DVDs of the Invasion year, and I thought that was a great angle. So it'd be nice to go back and watch Rory's War from 97, 96, and you get all these great little shows and all the time. But I think when I got it, the first thing I wanted to watch was the British Bulldog in WCW because I never saw it.
Wicked.
So I was just wanting to say, right, let's see what they did with Davey. Let's see what they did with the Bulldog for 2 years before he went back to the WWE. To the WWE thing. and you're watching it and you're going, wow. And match, I mean, if you put this match in WWF, you'd have had it on any pay-per-view. Sting, Bulldog versus Vader and Sid Justice.
Amazing.
Easy. And then, but in WCW, it was like, well, look at this. Like, little bleeding kids and everything. Looking at a WCW main a pay-per-view from like 93, it's just, it's like looking at NXT now.
Yeah.
That's what it was like. And you're like, what? But they did, it's like every time you look at the old stuff in the 90s, I mean, you know it through doing all the WCW things and the Benoit things and stuff. Oh, by the way, for people if you don't know, it's still on YouTube. Go to the 30-minute pipe bomb and check out the episode when they did the wellness policy and Benoit. There is no better hour on YouTube by a mile. I don't care what anyone says. I've blasted this show for ages, and to hear this guy and all the other guys talk what they did for that hour about the wellness policy and everything they did is one of the finest hours of a podcast I ever heard in my life. And I am not joking.
Mate, too kind.
And that was one of the best things I ever heard in my life. The way they tore it apart, and you'll be like, you'll never think of it the same way again. Honestly, God, 30-minute pipe bomb on YouTube, amazing hour. It was well supposed to be a 30-minute show, but it ended up more than an hour and a half.
Oh man, I don't think none of the shows we've done have lasted an hour. No joke, mate.
I always used to say we're starting this. It was like, okay, I'm gonna talk. Am I gonna talk for 2 hours? What am I gonna do it? I'm like, me and Nixie are for the time. We just sit back and we go, right, what are we talking about tonight? Well, have we planned anything? No. And we go at 11 o'clock, and we always do it. No plan, nothing in front of us. And 2 hours later, we're like, we're still going. Shit, bleed now. What the fuck? And all that. Yeah. And occasionally Nixie brings out the worst in me. I bring out the worst in her. All you have to do is go kind and watch everything happen about her. And she goes ape shit. She's contacted me from China. She says, oh, I'm having a nice time. I thought, yeah. She's actually on Skype now. So it's about 4 o'clock in the morning in China at the moment. China. She said to me, she goes, you've got to tell these wrestlers I found real life Tracy Island. She's gone halfway around the world to get a photograph of fucking Thunderbirds.
Jesus.
She's terrible. What can you do?
She is. Do you know what? You can't change it. Can't not change it.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Oh, God. If it's not AJ Lee or bleeding that bang thing, oh, yeah, I can tell people what I'm doing at Southside. A few months ago, we had this just a gentleman on Facebook who was telling everybody that CM Punk was going to be on Raw and CM Punk was going to be at WrestleMania and CM Punk's been seen here, and he put all these pictures up and CM Punk's here, CM Punk's there, CM Punk's here, CM Punk's here. Everything was CM Punk this, CM Punk that. Yeah. A week on Sunday at Southside, I'm going to get a great one. But I can't tell you anything because literally he'll be listening to the show on the Bleeding Archive and I've just remembered. So I'll have to cut this bit out. So literally what I'm going to do is I'm taking a DVD of CM Punk's The Best in the World and I'm going to take so many photographs of it. And look, CM Punk's at Southside. Look, CM Punk's at the chair. CM Punk's at the merchandise stand. CM Punk's on the ramp. CM Punk's in the wrestling ring. And I'm going to take photographs of this DVD everywhere. And I'm going to embarrass him so fucking much.
That is really, really funny, that, mate.
But he did it so well. But he won't apologise. He just said, oh, yeah, he never once said, I got it wrong. Sorry. And, it just fucking did me nothing. I love the video on YouTube when somebody said CM Punk was going to turn up on TNA Sacrifice. I'm like, hey, really? What's your take on the CM Punk situation? Are you on his side, or do you think he stabbed all the fans in the back by just taking his ball and going home?
I don't know. It depends, because I suppose you got to think of WWE portraying him to have thrown his toys out the pram and took his ball home, or has he fallen out with them and they've done in typical Vince McMahon fashion? Let's bury him. Now we all know, well publicized, bad blood between Vince McMahon and whoever else. Regardless of what, always ends with Vince winning. Always. And it's always Vince bringing them back to bury them for his own pleasure.
Yep. Lesnar.
Yep.
Everybody has been it.
Yep. Anyone who's turned their back and done them over, bury them.
Austin at WrestleMania. He buried Austin at WrestleMania against The Rock. Yeah, exactly right.
So we'll never know the truth. But CM Punk, do you know what? One thing you got to respect: he has not come out and been everywhere, slagging them off all the time.
No, he's just getting on with his life, really. But I'm one of these takers. It would have been nice for him to say, "I'm leaving. Thank you very much for everything you've done for me."
Yeah.
And thanks for everything you've done. But he hasn't. You've got all these people that bought these T-shirts, made him rich, made him a star, and he's not once said, I'm sorry for what's happened. Yeah, he'll come out and do it. I can't wait for July when the contract finishes. I cannot wait. But at the same time, he's over the barrel because he owes WWE 6 months of work.
Yep. And we know that the house stroke Vince always wins.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting in the next few months. I mean,
what do you think will happen with him?
Well, I think he's done with wrestling. I really believe he's finished with wrestling. I don't think we'll see CM Punk. If we do see CM Punk anywhere near wrestling, it'll be a complete one-off. I just think he's getting married to AJ next month. That's happening. Everywhere he goes, people going mental taking photographs of him, saying, "Oh, look, you know, it's no, I didn't see the Ring of Honor and War of the Worlds. I haven't. It's not fair for me to talk about it. That's what they do on the Takeover radio show. The Takeover Wrestling broadcast is live on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. They talk about the Ring of Honor things. They do the New Japan and everything like that. I've heard it was an amazing show, but I did not see it, so I can't comment on it.
Likewise, yeah. I didn't see it. I've only read about it and heard about it. Sounds wonderful, but if we haven't seen it, it's not a great review, is it?
Get Ring of Honor over here on a TV show. Get Ring of Honor. Apparently there's a big clash happening on this British Wrestling Roundup on Sunday. Alex Shane and Ricky Knight are clashing over the top 10 British wrestling chart, apparently.
Fantastic.
Hallelujah. I'm going to watch it just to see what Alex Shane... What's your take on that top 10 list? Do you think it's bullshit to the core or what?
It's hard to judge, isn't it? One person's list, I'm never going to agree with. For argument's sake, do you remember when we went through our favourite WWE tag teams and we had you on?
Yeah.
It's that, you know, no one's list is going to match exactly. You're always going to disagree with someone. I don't see it as bullshit. I just see it as someone else's opinion. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think?
I think when they've got people you look at the people who are making up the list and the list of the people who are actually involved with it, and you're like, what that? I mean, Wrestling Talk TV and this thing on Challenge and everything and all these things. At the moment, they're just trying to repair the damage that Joel Ross did after Lionheart, which, if you didn't know, that was the most exciting day on Facebook ever.
Yeah. It was very, very busy.
That was the day of all days, and Dean Pickering at the Wrestling Mania has got a lot of credit for that. He didn't let him get away with nothing. So Dean Pickering at the Wrestling Mania, he's got a lot to say thank you for that, mate. That was a real class act what you did. But I think when you look at the lists, and yeah, you see like it's like arseholes. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got opinions, and you can't change everybody's life. I mean, I think the funniest one we had on here was I said to Nixie just after The Undertaker, just saying what would be if you had to pick one match that would represent The Undertaker in his whole career, what would it be? She picked WrestleMania 14, Kane, and I went, what the fuck are you on about? What are you? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Well, that's it. I'd agree with you, and I'd have gone 25.
To be honest, Joe, if I'd have put CM Punk, because I thought the CM Punk was better than anything that Triple H and Shawn Michaels and the CM Punk one was. That's close.
Fair play. Well, do you know what? Again, there you go. It just shows that different opinions, and you've got to look at things like, you know, would you prefer this wrestler in his prime when he was white hot, or would you prefer his last match against this person or this particular match where it may not have been in his heyday?
Do you know this sounds so great? I watched the Iron Man match from WrestleMania 12, and I've never seen it since WrestleMania 12, since it came out live.
Really? Okay.
And I've never watched it. And I watched it, and this is like WrestleMania 12 to WrestleMania. This is like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched it now, and I appreciated it more now than I did then.
Yeah.
Because then it was just Brett and Shawn doing an hour. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Now I look at it and I'm going, wow, these guys didn't miss a beat for an hour.
Yeah.
And I appreciated the fact they did this a lot more now than I did watching then. So all these people that say, oh yeah, I never go back and watch the old WCW stuff. I'll never go back and watch the old WWF. Do it. Because of all the matches that you remember as a kid, watch them again. Because it's like watching the Bulldog and Brett from SummerSlam. Yeah. I watched it 20 years. I was there 20 years ago. But to see it on a TV screen was a whole lot different to me actually being there and going to twat the guy that sat next to me for being a Brett fan.
Yeah.
So,
I think you said it best there by saying, now you appreciate it. Now you're more than just, I suppose, entertained, to key a phrase, because you watch it at the time and you're like, oh, that match is great. And then you fast forward 10 years, 15, 18 years, and you watch it and you sit and you're like, wow, I can see the story. I can see it all. You pick up on bits that you missed before and you just appreciate the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just putting the questions thread up, so this is going to be
go for it. I watched Starrcade from '97 the other day, and it was like amazing, the roster that WCW had, but amazing in the sense that every match leading up to the two biggest matches was amazing, and then the main event was kind of pants, because you'd have Chris Jericho against Dean Malenko, or Benoit, Guerrero, Perry Saturn as a three-man stable, and you get to the main event and it's Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan. I might put that on double speed.
Yeah, I've just got to get a quick mention to Elite British Wrestling presents Brawl in the Hall in Montgomery Hall in Wath-upon-Dearne in Yorkshire, Friday the 6th of June. Doors open 6 p.m. I'm just going to give that a quick mention for Andrew and Danielle for themselves. So, it's like when you watch we always remember the things as kids, and we always got this nice little glow, and you always think, oh, that's great, and everything. And then you watch it back and you go, really?
Yeah.
It destroys. It's like that old saying, you never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Because you'll always be disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think I'm glad that's why I never met the Bulldog. Because if I did, I don't know exactly what I'd have done, but I'm glad that I didn't.
Yeah, he may have ruined it. It's a bloody good point. It's a brave thing to say as well. That.
Yeah. I don't know what to do. I mean, I've heard from everybody saying, "No, he's the nicest guy in the world, and he's nicest thing and everything." You just look at it and you think, you meet heroes. Yeah, I'd love to have met Davey Boy Smith. Don't get me wrong, love to have met him. But I don't know exactly how I'd have reacted. I don't think I'd have been true to myself. And so it's one of them things that I'm glad it didn't happen in some ways. Because it'll always be the top drawer for me now.
Yeah, that's it. Your memory of him will never be tarnished.
No, it's like that with it's like the Ultimate Warrior and all these other guys, and you think the only time I've ever met a WWE wrestler, and I said this last week, and I did a meet and greet when I met Batista, and I have never been so pissed off coming out of a place in my life, and that really, really pissed me off. So I've told these people that go, fine, have a great time, but not for me. Not for me now. I think it put me off forever. So
that's fair.
It's stuff. I mean, because you see all these great pictures of the last week, and you see him with Natalia and Dolph Ziggler and Big Show and all these other great wrestlers that's done all that. The Shield was in Glasgow, and I bet they got some match security in Glasgow though. But it's always the same. It's but we go on, and WWE have now got Payback next week, which is on Sky Sports 1. It's not on It's not on the box office. So it's either going to be the worst show they've ever done, or it's going to be like, oh wow, we're so glad we put this on Sky Sports One.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
want to?
go on.
Sorry.
Sorry. Carry on.
Oh my god.
No, I was just about to say the card that they've announced or the matches that are agreed so far. Again, to me, just to me personally, my opinion is it's a little bit. To me, it's hit and miss.
Why do we need John Cena versus Bray Wyatt 3 pay-per-views in a row?
Yeah. It's just, I know they're doing a program together, but I agree. It's either John Cena against Bray Wyatt, or it's John Cena against the Wyatt family, or it's John Cena against Rowan on his own, or it's. I agree. It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't seem that why it takes it away from the WrestleMania moments. It's like, okay, they always do it. They always like WrestleMania, and then they put the next pay-per-view. It's just rematches of the WrestleMania moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's crap. You just have a WrestleMania match, start, finish, and then you go with it. You go to the next game. But, I'm sick to death of seeing rematches now. I really am.
And the worst thing is, you see it like to Cena and the Wyatts. That's all it's been on Raw and SmackDown for the last couple of months as well. Have a feud, have it last. I suppose in one sense, though, we're not like we were when we had, I suppose I don't want to say it to sound cheesy, but in the older days where they'd have a program that could run 12 months with wrestlers, but there'd be more to it than just the same two people fighting. I was looking online for the last 12 pay-per-views for argument's sake, and Randy Orton's been involved in like 10 of the main events. And Randy Orton, to me, personal opinion again, I don't know, he's never changed. He's never been any different. He's just boring now. Yeah, he pulls that face where it looks like he needs a poo. Then he starts slapping the floor, and then it's like, oh, great, boring. Warrior One's got it right. WrestleMania used to be the end of storylines, so they can move on to new feuds after. They seem to have forgotten that, mate.
I always used to take WrestleMania as the end of the calendar year. I always used to say, WrestleMania, that's it. Now we've got all these things brand new. The next night of Raw was amazing because you had all new things. It was like debut of Paige. You had Barrett on it. You had all these new things. It wasn't any of the old guys. It was like all NXT and all these other things. It was like seeing brand new and like, wow, WWE look like the way it's going. And then now we've got Evolution reforming, and you got bloody taking on the Shield, and you get all these things. And I like, oh, come on, guys, you've got something there. Yeah. You've got the makings of something there. Go with it. If it fails, it fails. But at least you've given us something completely different.
Yeah, started something new. Well, to be fair, the biggest story that I've been hooked on and read recently, which I'm really excited about, is Prince Devitt going to WWE. And you see these meme pictures which says, don't ruin it. WWE can easily ruin it. Easily.
Everybody's saying it. Everybody's saying it.
They could literally call him Fergal O'Sharkey, put him in all green, and send them out with a leprechaun's hat on, and then that's it. It's done. Finished. Over. Yeah. Ruined one of the best things to happen to them in recent years.
You've just said exactly what we said last week. You've just exactly done it. And then they'll give him a cricket Mickey O'Neill, something like that.
Yep.
Stereotype Irishman. Make everybody going, hey, do you that? And come at that and destroy him. And they'll have the best wrestler they've had in the last 5-10 years. Yep. And the hottest thing and everything. And we've got
piss it all away and ruin it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, mate. Unbelievable. But we'll see. Again, it was nice that I made up Barrett's back. Even though I don't know if he was legitimately injured that long or it was just to build the character up. But I've loved over the last few months I've got some bad news for you. That has been absolutely brilliant building up. And now that he's back in the ring and whooping ass, it's exciting.
When that came out, though, everybody said, oh, God, what have they given him?
Yeah.
It's always the gimmick. These gimmicks that are not supposed to work, and they get over. And they get over with a crowd, and everybody likes them now. I mean, Wade Barrett's like, what? Wow, okay. I've been given this thing. Let's see what I can do with it. I'm either going to get released because of this, or people are going to love it, and they love it now. And When he came out on Monday, was just yes and everything.
The rest of the WWE universe seems to as well, mate.
Yeah.
Heel Steven, Kevin Steen supposedly signing for WWE. I think that would be fantastic because I've seen Kevin Steen at PCW a few times, and that guy can go.
Can you see him doing a Dean Douglas gimmick?
I don't know because a lot of these guys that they're bringing in, the indie guys, they could keep similar. Like we know that CM Punk has been one of the few to actually keep the same name. So name change: El Generico, Sami Zayn, great. Claudio Castagnoli, Cesaro, fine. Change that, but leave them as close to what they are as they can be. Has anyone seen the video on YouTube, the 95 moves of Kevin Steen? Because it is fantastic. But it just shows this guy can whoop ass, throw people around like the toys, whip the living piss out of people, and he's absolutely superb. Him, Devitt they would be two amazing signings.
I think when he goes, and I hope he does well, and Steen, and you got all these. I mean, Kevin Steen, and you got big guys, Steen and Wyatt. Kevin Steen and Bray Wyatt looks interesting to me already.
God, yes, what?
And all these guys that's come through the WWE have done it again. When they get rid of all these old people, and you think, oh, where's the next stars coming from? Look what they've done. They've got a year ago. It was where's all these new ones coming from? We've got all these guys in the mid-30s. Where's the next Cena coming from? Where's the next CM Punk? Where's the next Kane, Undertaker? All these.
Yep.
And you look 12 months down the line now, and you've got Wyatts, you've got Adam Rose, you've got Pac, you've got Adrian Neville, you've got Paige, you've got all these indie guys that have signed. The Shield have finally come up to main event status.
But even Cesaro and
Sami
Zayn. It's exciting because I've watched NXT for the last sort of 8-9 weeks, and there's like 2-3 decent solid matches on there out of the 6 or 7 they put on, and that's a pretty good hitting ratio considering that's just the development talent playing about and learning the trade. Never mind when they're a polished article and they're on the main shows. It's very, very good to see.
Yeah, I look at you look at all the talent that they've got. It is phenomenal now. I mean, Triple H has got to be given a lot of credit for this because he's actually gone in there and said, well, where's the next guys coming from? We haven't got them.
Yeah.
And they've got that Progress Center, and you got the they're getting all these people to look, it's the same height as the Raw. You can practice the entrances, so everything's the same. And they're getting ready for the future. And it looks amazing what they've done. And then you look on the other side of the coin, and you get TNA Wrestling and all their releases and not paying staff and all this, and you think, what's gone wrong? Because you remember as much as me, Joe. We remember TNA kicking WWE's ass at wrestling.
Oh yeah. Oh good Lord, yes.
Every single week, every pay-per-view, you was always talking about what happened in the 6-sided ring. You always talked about the main event. It's Styles, Joe, Daniels. And you look at that roster now, and it's like, Christ's sake, what are you doing? And
that's the problem. They've just done too much wrong. The stories of production staff walking out. It's just all in disarray. I don't know whether it's in a terrible state. We don't know whether they're just waiting for someone to come in and buy them. And do you know what? There is still some good there. There is still some good there. But I don't think it's going to get the chance to develop into anything else than what it is now.
Yeah. Heel Steven Archam just said a good point. Did you hear the chant that happened at the Ring of Honor show? Because they're going to New York in a couple of months, TNA.
Yeah.
And, they was chanting AJ Styles coming out of the ring, and they were just chanting "Fuck TNA, fuck TNA."
Oh
man. I've got these. I've heard some things last night and on YouTube, and if you get the chance to listen to it, it's a good one. There's a channel. There's all these. Put a phone. Eric Bischoff was on with Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast, and then you also and this guy's got a channel, and it's got Shawn Michaels on Jim Ross's. And I've never knew this before, but if you listen to Shawn Michaels on a show, he says, more times than anything I've ever heard in my life.
Uh,
Every 10, 15 seconds,
yeah.
I'm like, what? And I never knew it before, but now I'm like, he says it really a lot.
Jeez.
And it's like Kevin Nash when he goes, yeah, he's another one, and he's another one. So he's got that displeasing, thing. It's happening.
Yeah. Mind
So,
you, I noticed, I didn't notice that so much when I was listening to the podcast, but I did realize that Stone Cold says motherfucker a
oh
hell of
God.
a lot. Oh, good Lord.
These little tweaks that you find out. I mean, I know for a fact that I've said does my nutting or stuff and all that. I know
Yeah.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, that's amazing. Way, way too much for my liking. And there's other shows and and you're thinking you got these little tweaks but I look at it. TNA is just reminding me so much of WCW because there's not wrestling people there.
Yeah, they're business people, they're not wrestling.
Exactly. It's what are they gonna do? I said it to Nixie last week, and I think if anybody comes on this show now, I think it's going to be my question:
Yeah,
is do you see TNA in business by the end of 2014?
it's a bloody good question, mate. It's a bloody good question.
Because
Um,
Nixie says, no, I think Nixie said last week. She says, "My heart says no, but I don't know. I'm really second. I'm hope not. I hope it's there, but you can't release all that talent and expect people to watch it still
no.
when." You've got shit stories. You got all this crap and everything happening, and it doesn't matter what wrestling's in the ring. I mean, they've got the American Wolves. You've got Davey Richards.
Class.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards deserves a lot better than that.
Yeah.
And I don't think Eric Hill Stevens says, do you think Eric Young being a world champion is hurting them? No, I don't. It's something that gives them a different perspective, but turning your main face guy from 2 months ago into a heel 2 months later,
Yeah, it makes no sense.
you've just completely wiped out your lockdown pay per view because he was going up against Dixie for control of the company.
Yeah.
He got all these wrestlers that said, "I'm here for the wrestlers. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, and I'm here for you." And then
Yeah.
all of a sudden now he's in heel and he stabbed him in the back, and now they're doing a revamped version of Nation of Domination
Yeah.
with Bobby Lashley and Kenny King, and you're like, oh God, Bennett. Um,
I think that's what the problem is. They're too busy recycling ideas of things that were popular a while ago. With TNA, you want it to be good. You want WWE to have competition. You want to be able to watch a different show with great wrestlers. They've got great wrestlers. They're just not being used properly. And you want them to do so well so that there's something a little bit different in the mix. It's Eric Young being world champion. Not a bad thing, doesn't hurt them, but it doesn't win them anything. It doesn't make them more popular. It doesn't open up any more opportunities for people to turn over and go, I want to watch this. I don't think, anyway.
I'm still going to I'll still go to my dying day looking for a person that actually buys a TNA pay per view.
Oh, man.
There's got to be one. There has to be one person that buys it. There has to be, because otherwise, how does everybody else stream it?
Yeah, good point. Really good point.
With the famous streaming discussion that I've had on here many times with people, and I'm in the minority of this, but I know that I'm right, and so there's a lot of
Well, do you think, though, the way that TNA have gone about business recently, do you think they're trying to do what WWE have done many times? Clear out, even though we still think a lot of these guys that they let go are great, maybe they're trying to clear out the dead wood to bring in a new, fresh batch of people and ideas to try and start again.
Yeah, but where's these stars coming from? That's the problem.
Well, maybe at the moment they're in a transition period where
Yeah.
they're using Eric Young, for argument's sake, as a holding champion. They're probably going with what will suffice and will pass for now to try and start something new. They may not be. I'm just trying to look at it from another point of view, considering the decisions that they've made. Letting, bad influence go. not the best of moves, but maybe decisions like this need to be taken to freshen everything up.
You haven't seen Samoa Joe in 6 weeks.
No.
Abyss is off TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin Aries comes back this week.
Yeah.
All right. That's 3 guys. That's like your backbone of TNA. Yeah. Austin Aries, he put the belt back on him because as a champion, he was great.
Yep.
You got Bobby Roode. Don't know what's happening with him.
Yep.
James Storm, Gunner. They've got to stop with this Gunner thing and everything. Sam Shaw is the success story because that character with Sam Shaw has literally got a new way of looking at things, and I must admit, it's the best thing I've seen in ages from TNA. That the Mengre with Rob Terry as the Freak is another package for Rob Terry, poor lad.
Yeah,
that's different. I can see where they're going to go with that with this crazy Steve and Rebel. Who wears the shortest shorts I have ever seen.
I've never seen any smaller shorts, if I'm being honest.
God. They brought back the beautiful people.
Yep.
You got Madison Rain, Gail Kim.
Bully Ray as well. Bully Ray is still doing excellent, and he's been doing so well for the last few years. It's just, I don't know. Where does he go? Jeff Hardy coming back as Willow. I understand that, they've invested a lot, kind of like the CM Punk situation. They've invested a hell of a lot in him, and they want their return on it. But, what can they do with him? I think he's a bit of a mess.
I think the X Division has gone dead because you've released all the X Division wrestlers.
Yep.
You've got rid of Daniels, Kazarian, Styles, Joe's gone, Austin Aries off TV. 5 guys there.
Yeah.
But as I said, Magnus.
Saban as well.
Yeah, Chris Saban's gone. Yeah, Saban. And as much as it hurts, I think Magnus deserves better.
Yes, I do.
Because they put the belt on him, and it's like, okay, we're putting the belt. Let's see what you got. And it doesn't matter who it is. You're in a downward spiral. You're in a downward spiral with the company, and you're putting it on a guy who's, no disrespect to Magnus, but he deserves better than what he's got. Mm-hmm. He doesn't deserve. I think Rockstar Spud also there. I mean, Rockstar's genius what he's been doing. I mean, that's got to be to see Rockstar there. And I thought it was the funniest thing I saw in that joke as well too on Challenge last week. I'll never forget it. He came out and just shouted, "I am the team captain of my tag team," and then they pulled the name out, and it was Bully Ray. And Bully Ray came to the ring, and he stood there, got a chair, stood on the chair, so he's over the top of Bully Ray, and he goes, "I've just got one thing to say to you." And Bully Ray's looking at him and goes, "Yeah." And Spud went, "You're the team captain," and just tapped him. It was, it's there's this new guy coming called Bram. He's another Brit guy. There's all these British people that's going in. And you've got the Brits guys in WWE. We've got a real British invasion now. It's got to be said. In the top 2 companies, we've got a real British invasion now.
Massive presence. It just shows, again, they've gone to the talent scouts who are going to these local British shows that we're going to, are seeing how good these guys really are, and they can step up to it. Like you say, you only have to go to any Southside show, any PCW, any House of Pain show. You watch these guys do their thing, and it's fantastic. Doesn't matter who they are.
Well, there's you had all the ICW guys in the ring with Adam Rose.
Yes.
You had Nathan Cruz, and you had all Joe Henry, and you had all these other ICW wrestlers in the ring being his rosebuds. Yeah. And so that, I mean, and my mate in America, Ryan, was saying, "Who was the rosebuds?" And I was telling him, "Well, it's this company's guys, and this was this and this and this and this."
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, right, that's cool." And he says, "Have you ever seen Insane Championship Wrestling?" And he says, "No, I haven't." And I said, "Here, check this out." And I showed him the London one where I went to a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. And he was like, I thought ECW was dead. And I went, "Yeah, why?" And he went, "They're fucking mental." I went, yeah, that's ICW for you. He's like,
"Yep."
And this guy in America was he's the biggest ECW fan in the world. He's now got to a stage where he's going, hey, this company in the UK called ICW, fucking hell, they're really, really doing it. And ICW and people are saying, oh, it's just because of the documentary on BBC One. That's unfair to everybody that supported ICW before it.
I agree with you 100%.
They were selling it. They were selling out before this documentary happened. They was pulling in crowds everywhere, and that's unfair to the work of Mark Dallas and all the guys up there to say just because they got put on BBC One that this has happened. Wrong. It's because of the passion fans of ICW that people at BBC and everybody else has got interested in them and gone, what exactly has happened? This little promotion in Glasgow doing? And I've said to a lot of people have asked me, am I going to the January one for the ICW in London again? And I says no, because I don't want to see ICW in London. I want to see ICW in Glasgow.
Yeah, at home.
I want to see him at home, their home. I don't want to see. I mean, as much as it was a great night to see I want to see the ICW crowd. I don't want to see a bit of it. I want to see everybody now. I want to see him in their home and see exactly what it's like. It pushed the promotion, but the promotion was already there. It made a lot of people more aware of it. And I think Mark Dallas said they did sell a lot of tickets because of the documentary.
Yeah.
But the argument was being that it was because of the documentary that ICW have become more successful. It's not, because they were selling out bloody things in they were selling out venues way before that doc was shown.
So, if anything, the documentary just educated more people who weren't going to UK shows but liked wrestling.
Yeah, I think the people that watched it were British. The British wrestling people all watched it that night. It was on. It's like 11 o'clock. Yeah, watching it. Bang. There we go. It's on. And then it became Facebook explosion. The famous Facebook explosions. They're great. I love them. Social media is great. But it's got to be. I think British wrestling's in a good place at the moment. There's new promotion that's happening. There's South Coast Wrestling. There's another one happening in London called Sold Out Wrestling that's happening. That's a new promotion that started. There's a lot of good new promotions that's happening, and I hope they do it right, and I hope they do it well.
Yeah. Well, let's not forget also the fact that we've still got Wrestle Talk TV on. that just makes me happy alone. The fact that we've got British wrestling on TV.
Do you remember the first episode when they was on and they got slated?
Yes.
It was like, no. The only thing they showed of British wrestling was Rockstar Spud botching.
Yeah.
And they went schizo.
Yeah.
And I'll give him a second chance now. They got rid of that asshole. The total dickhead of the century. If you want to piss off an entire wrestling nation, mate, you did it.
Yeah, well done.
Well done, Dick. He's now back on Facebook. He's now back on Twitter doing everything what he used to do. Everybody knows what I'm on about. I'm not going to mention the guy's name because basically I don't want to give him the publicity.
No,
it's not fair. And that. Yes, show started early today, Winters. We've only got about a few more minutes, unfortunately. I told you all the night. So we've got all these new promotions and everything. There's Infinite Promotions in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Now we've got to talk about these guys.
Yeah.
They are really, really getting everybody started talking now, aren't they?
They do. And it's a surprise. It's a shame that it took this long because they've had. I watched Devitt there. They had Devitt on a few months ago. Tommy End was on the last show. Uha Nation is on the next. Is he? Oh, you have to give me a second while I have a quick look.
Yeah.
But yeah, Infinite Promotions. It's just again, it's the guys that we see regularly at other shows because like. T-Bone's on there. There's a lot of guys up from the Northwest that you may not have seen. CJ Banks, Cyanide, Zach Gibson, El Ligero, Bubblegum. I think there's there's not many matches from the next show that have been advertised yet. But again, the venue where it is, the Liverpool Dome, is amazing. It's two tiers.
Yeah.
So they've got seating above on a level, so you can look down on the ring. Superb views. The guys there who run it, fantastic fellas. It's excellent setup. I'd highly recommend it. You should definitely come down and get to see a show there.
I've got a question for you from Ross Briffett, who runs the Takeover Wrestling broadcast. He says, was there a match, angle, wrestler faction that turned you into a wrestling fan?
NWO.
That was
the first thing springs to mind. NWO straight away.
Yeah.
These guys. I mean, I know they say that Razor Ramon made it cool to like the bad guys. They didn't. It was NWO. All the way. The measuring sticks just changed. Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. Even before they brought Hogan in, they were hot. When Hogan came in, it was like, wow, does it get any better than this? And it was great for so long, and then just went terrible. But if I was going to put my finger on something, NWO.
Yeah. The one match everybody wanted to see, and they never saw it. And Eric Bischoff says it on that podcast. He says it was going to be done an NWO sold out, because where they got it at the moment when they had Wolfpack and they had Hollywood, they was going to use that pay-per-view just to have NWO wrestlers battling each other, because they got to a stage where the NWO was so big that they had to have two factions. Yeah. And that pay-per-view was just going to be NWO Black and White versus NWO Red and White.
Yeah.
And all the way through. And then the main event for this was going to be War Games, Hollywood versus the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
And we never got it.
No.
And it's the biggest fuck up that WCW did. I really wanted to see. We never got to see it. We never saw Wolfpack versus Hollywood. And that's the biggest kick up the arse WCW never give us.
If you would have to pick something like that, a faction, or a tag team, who would you pick?
The one that got me into it.
Yeah.
I'm going back to the old World of Sport days. I used to watch them religiously. You only had to mention the name and I watched it. The Royal Brothers.
Yeah.
Vic Fulton and Burt Royal. I am going so far back now. You guys are, if you're going to look at this, you have to search them on YouTube, because it's World of Sport Wrestling. It's 1975, 1976, whatever it is. Vic Fulton and Burt Royal were called the Royal Brothers. And as a tag team, there was nobody to touch them. They did technical wrestling. They had everybody laughing. They was brilliant. And you always used to be versing Pete LaPac and the Rockers. It always used to be one of them. But faction-wise, I think I remember the 80s, and then just seeing. I always loved tag team wrestling. I always did when you saw it on World of Sport or you saw it. It was just something about that made it different for me, and I love watching it. And I think my favorite bad guy growing up was Jim Breaks. Jim Breaks by a mile. I mean, when you can walk to a ring and Mick McManus, I've got to talk about Mick. When you've got these two guys and they get in the ring and you've got women, grown women with handbags and the most awful fashion sense for 1975 you've ever seen, running to a ring and threatening to kick the living shit out of you.
Yep.
You must do something that's really, really special. And he did it every single night. Every single night. You never saw Mick McManus as a face. You never saw Jim Breaks as a face, because every promoter knew as soon as you got them on the bill, you knew you was going to have people coming just to kick the living shit out of them. And every single time. And
excellent.
If you want to watch heel wrestlers, watch them two. And then tell me... Them two, Mark Rollerball, Rocco, I know I'm going back here years and years, but all the bad guys, you will look at them, and when they get people coming out of the chairs and literally going to bang on the ring and kick the shit out of them, you know you've got a good bad guy. That's the bad guy at the best. Right.
Yeah.
It is crazy. And I've got an announcement to make. There's a young lad in our chat room. For the last 2 years ago, he's messaged me and he said, is there any wrestling happening in Kent? And I said, give me a couple of days. and I'll get you some. And I found him Revolution Pro Wrestling and IPW.
Fantastic.
And he went. Now, 2 years later, he's been going all over the place. He loves wrestling. He's got his own wrestling radio show on the British Wrestling Radio Network. This week has been the most massive week for him because this week he announced it to me that he's making his wrestling commentary debut. He's actually going to be a commentator.
Wow.
He's going to do it on Saturday, August the 16th at Moat Park in Maidstone, Kent for the Main Event Wrestling Company. Ross Briffett, I am so proud of you.
Fantastic.
So proud. And it's amazing. Every single person we're connected with British Wrestling Radio and the wrestling community. This kid has worked his ass off. The funniest thing is, he rings me up. We talk to each other nearly every day. And he was saying, yeah, I'm going to do some promos. And by the time I get to work, we've done about 6 promos for him. And it was like, because the thing with Ross, he's in a wheelchair. Ross is in a wheelchair.
Yep.
So he's breaking down barriers all the time. And we was cutting heel promos for him, being a manager wrestler. And he's going, I must have, what was it we did? We said one week, he says, oh yeah, he says, we've got to come up with one. And I says, oh yeah, I says, hey, I may be a disability. I may be in a wheelchair and like this, but you fucking arseholes have got to live here for every day of your life. Yeah. I can leave this town whenever I wish. And it was just all these stupid little promos we came up with, and it was great fun.
The absolute best of luck to you, Ross. You deserve it, mate. Yeah, fantastic.
Anyway, I'm going to have to cut everybody short because I have literally got about half an hour to get ready and go to work. I've got my night shift to do. But can I just say, Joe, thank you so much for stepping in, and thank you very much for this.
Absolutely, anytime.
Oh, I'll take you up on that, mate. I really will. Thanks ever so much. And next time I see you, it will be at the anniversary show in August.
Absolutely looking forward to it, mate.
I can't wait. And thanks ever so much to everybody that's joining us for tonight for British Wrestling Radio. It's been an easy night, and I'm gonna roll the fuck out of this shit. Thanks to everybody that's joined us tonight for all the questions. Congratulations once again to Ross. Thanks to everybody that's doing it. If we've got some more, do the quick events. We'll get these out of the way for the next couple of weeks. It's coming up with wrestling, and then we'll go. Tomorrow, we've got Revolution Pro live in Portsmouth. They're happening at the Buckland Community Centre in Portsmouth at 6:30. Sunday, IPW presents Royal Rewards featuring Kyle O'Reilly versus Zack Sabre Jr. at the Angel Centre in Tunbridge, Kent. That is at 3:30. 4:00, Kamikaze Pro presents Broken Down City at the Cadbury Club, Bourneville Lane, Bourneville in Birmingham. That's at 4:00, featuring Juventud Guerrera. Also at 4:00 in Harlow, Essex, WrestleForce presents Gold Rush at the Harlow Playhouse in Harlow at 4 p.m. 5 p.m, Revolution Pro Sittingbourne returns. Prince Devitt versus Doug Williams and much more at the Wyvern Hall at the Swallows Leisure Centre in Sittingbourne. Also, BPW main event at the Frith Beach Arena in Prestatyn. Steve Saxon and the gang also doing that at 7:30 on Sunday. And we're going to go next Friday, 30th, PCW UK Super Show 4. 2-day event featuring MVP, Hurricane, Low Key, Al Snow, Uha Nation. I keep saying that wrong. And Red Dragon. And then we get that going. I've also been invited. Why don't I get invited to Canadian events? Am I going to go to Canadian? Kamikaze Pro next Saturday versus at the Austin Club in Tassel Lane, Longbridge, Birmingham at 6 p.m. Also, we've got EPW Awakening, the Ben Hall in Rugby, Warwickshire by Elite Pro Wrestling UK. That's happening next Saturday. And Rob Maltman's going to that one. And Scottish Wrestling Entertainment presents Uprising at the Ardella Complex in Dundee at 6:45. Also on that's at 7 p.m. Showcase Wrestling in your club at the Club Lockside. So it's Showcase Wrestling up there in Scotland as well. June the 1st. This is all like next 7 days. This is crazy.
Wow.
June the 1st. This is what I remember when this used to take me 5 minutes, Joe. I remember this so much. It used to take me 5 minutes.
The
We
price
got,
of
man,
success.
it's all the wrestling companies. It's going shit. Uh, Wrestling in Rushden, 1st of June. Doors 3 p.m. Starts at 4. Extreme American Wrestling at the Pemberton Centre in Higman Ferrers in Rushden. That's Extreme American Wrestling. South Past 4 in St. Neots, the one I'm going to. Southside Wrestling presents Notorious 4, featuring the Hurricane, Juventud Guerrera, Hoo Ha Nation, and Chris Hero. Also, 5 o'clock the same day, Sellout Wrestling presents Sellout Wrestling. It begins at the Asylum London in London. That is happening there in London next Sunday. And at 7:30 Sunday, Triple X Wrestling, Kick Him in the Face, featuring Low Key versus Zack Sabre Jr. is happening in Coventry. Go on Facebook for details. Then on the 6th of June, and I've got to do this because otherwise I'll never forgive myself. And because if I want to get in the Royal Rumble again, I've got to do it. Elite British Wrestling presents Brawl in the Hall at the Montgomery Hall in Wath-upon-Dearne and stuff. So you've got that next Friday, Friday the 6th. And then also on the 6th of June at 7 p.m., Pro Wrestling for You, Silverdale Showdown 7, featuring Barricade, Styx, and Keith Might, and all these great, great people that's happening. That is next Friday, the 6th of June. And on Sunday, the 8th of June, Progress versus IPW Future Endeavour, White Oak Leisure Centre in Swanley. Okay, and that'll take us all the way up to the 13th of June, which is then Fight Club Pro International Techers Part 2 happening at the Planet Nightclub in Wolverhampton. So we're all the way up. So that is all the wrestling that's happening. Well, most of the wrestling that's happening in this country over the next few days. I hope you. We should go now. You a lot taking the piss out of me saying "Hoo Ha Nation." You are, aren't you? Yeah, and stuff. But anyway, the archive is going to go on YouTube as soon as I can put it up over the next 24 hours. I will put it up. I promise you all. Many, many thanks to this gentleman on this because I'll say it straight: wrestling broadcasting is not the same without you guys. It really isn't.
Thank you, mate. It's far too kind. Far too kind.
And I know seeing you guys at Preston, and I look at your faces now, and I know how much you love the British scene. These guys are. Hey, by the way, we forgot this guy. Remember, is a British Wrestling Radio Hall of Famer. Remember, the pipe bombers are in. The pipe bombers are in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, social media Hall of Fame members. These guys, we put them in. It's been an absolute pleasure tonight, sir, and it's something I'm always going to remember. And I will put this on YouTube as straight as way. All right, sir.
Pleasure's all been mine. Thank you so much, Dino, and thank you everyone for listening.
Take care of yourself, mate. Bye bye.
Take it easy. Thank you.
Bye bye. Right, and before we finish, I can now say anything about Nixie. Nixie is all right. Nixie's doing herself. Congratulations to the Gorilla Report as well. They've got announced their first interview with the Brian Kendrick. So you done that. I've just mentioned it. Ollie, even before you tapped me up on Bleeding Facebook, you shit. He's just done an interview, just announced it. The Gorilla Report on Facebook and YouTube, with Brian Kendrick. It's all the things that's happening over the last few days. Congratulations once again to Ross. It's a big, big, massive thing for him. If anybody wants to check out my being ribbed by an American radio show, please do. I've got it on my YouTube channel, but I can see you can find it out for you, and I'll put it up on the British Wrestling page. 1 hour, 52 minutes in, you hear Ryan Clark of WZR try to ridicule me for wearing a John Cena t-shirt. Sorry. And what did he do? This guy's worn the same fucking shirt on his show for the best part of a year. It's fucking disgusting. And he gives me shit? I fucking don't know. So, you think you're untouchable? Anyway, right. So, we're just going to finish off in our own special way, as we always do every single week. Thank you very much to everybody that's given me some nice messages about my new venture I'm doing. It's like I said before, I am not leaving British Wrestling Radio. I'm just doing this other thing because I think it's something that I need to do. We've got it all sorted. Everything's going great, so I can't say anything highly enough. And tune in on Tuesday nights, 8 o'clock. we'll get going with this thing, with this rugby league little take and things. So thanks very much, everybody. What can I say? Thanks to Joe. Thanks to everybody for listening tonight. And we will see you again very, 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 very soon. And so, anyway, I'm going to leave you with this one. Take care, guys. I'll see you next week. Next week, 10 o'clock, next Friday. Okay? Bye-bye.